Item number 18, lightning round item number 18, the arrangements with public figures. Example, there's one franchise that I can think of that had a really strong involvement with the Dallas Cowboy at the onset there. And this section is really where it basically introduces the celebrities that may be involved with the franchise, or I believe George Foreman, like as an example, he is in a relationship with, I think, Meineke, like a lifetime relationship there. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Peyton Manning's now involved in some sort of franchise relationship. Walk me through what this is all about, this particular item, and how that works.
In some really small amounts of areas, franchising-wise, public figures are very important to people investing.
Okay.
A lot of times the idea that public figure is involved and how long they could be involved can be important to your decision to invest. For example, if it was a short-term relationship, if it's just for 1 year, you at least need to know that. That's just a campaign that we're involved with this public figure to build the business to a certain level, but beyond that, there's no predictability that them being there. So a franchisee can't come back 3 years later and say, I bought this because Peyton was going to be involved for the lifetime of my license.
Oh, okay.
And now he's gone. So therefore.
So again, this is a great thing to read. And I want to encourage this because I know that Henry Ford has that quote. He says that thinking is the hardest thing to do. And I'm paraphrasing, so we'll get the actual quote up on the screen. But he says basically thinking is the hardest thing to do, therefore very few people think. You know, it's, and I think a lot of times we get these FDDs, we might just kind of skim. And I'm sure you've dealt with people, because you've worked with tens of thousands of franchise buyers, people tend to skim stuff. This is important. We don't skim this stuff, right? We need to read it and really understand it.
It depends on the individual. Everybody kind of learns and takes information a different way.
Okay.
I'm not as detailed as others, so I would be able to skim it and pick up what I needed to know. Others would really deep dive into it and take it to bed and.
Yeah, I mean, I've been walking around with FDDs for weeks. I've been known for that. So, okay, here we go. Lightning round item number 19, financial performance representations. Yes. This section says information given to a prospective. This is information given to a prospective franchisee on behalf or at the direction of the franchisor or its agents, from which a specific level or range of actual or potential sales, costs, income, or profit from franchised or non-franchised units may be easily ascertained. What are we talking about here?
At fifth grade level, we're talking about if some franchisors provide information that would give a potential franchisee indicators as to what they can expect the outcome to be.
Okay.
Now, sometimes those are really watered down from an average standpoint, which can be dangerous. Some franchisors do not use item 19s because they've learned that it really lowers the bar from a standpoint of the type of people they want that will go beyond those norms or averages.
I've noticed that in the world of franchising, one thing that it's not frustrating when you understand the regulation, but sometimes you'll ask somebody and you'll say, hey, how much can I make?
Yes.
And they'll be very hesitant to answer that. They'll say, well, here is what we disclose in our item 19. And the reason why is because this is a federally regulated thing. And if I were to say, well, you could make $100,000 a year, you can make that could be dangerous because there might be some guy in Sheboygan making $5,000 a year and some other guy making $2 million a year. And if I say something that's misleading, I can get in trouble, right?
Absolutely, it's regulated, and franchisors can be, penalized severely, even jail time for misrepresenting this area of how much can I make.
Jail time. Wow.
It's unusual, but it has happened. There's been some cases where that's happened.
Wow. Well, stay out of jail and don't mess up your item 19. That's something we can take from this. Now, lightning round item number 20, outlets and franchise content. There are several tables that are located within this portion here.
Yeah.
And table number 1 is usually a summary of the system-wide outlets. What is a system-wide outlet?
Well, this would be what's referred to as the entire system and how the outlets are described.
Okay.
Typically by state, and the outlets would be described how many there are currently, and it typically gives you a range of the year before or 2 years before, and what the most current year. So if I'm in 2014 with an FDD, all I'm going to show there is the latest 2013 year-end numbers.
Now, so table number 2 is basically a transfer of outlets from franchisees to new owners. What is that talking about?
Well, in franchising, you have an opportunity if you get into a franchise system and you use it as a stepping stone to grow to a certain point, and then you decide you're going to step into something entirely different. You're able to sell or transfer that license to someone else and benefit from that. And the FTC wants us to disclose how many franchisees actually sold or transferred their license to a new owner.
And that might help us know of the health of the organization, or who's doing really well, or just kind of let you know a little more for the lay of the land here.
Oh, it also gives you a good indication that the franchise has a resale value, and that there is equity associated with being able to transfer and sell that.
Now, table number 3 provides information on the status of franchised outlets. When we say the status, does that mean if they're still in business, or what does that mean?
It does. It means those that are still in business, but also means those that we've awarded that haven't opened yet.
Oh.
So you want to know that if a franchise has awarded licenses to develop 200 units, that sounds great, but if only 5 of them are open, you want to know that.